Okay, so it seems like we have some more interesting news coming from the VTuber space, and this time it's involving a VTuber named Pipkin Pippa. If you guys don't know, Pippa is a very popular VTuber, obviously a part of FaZe Connect, and well, it seems like there's been a man who's been a pretty big fan of them, and it's pretty crazy. This news has dropped recently. Now, obviously, this has nothing really to do with Pippa herself, obviously, so don't go, attack her or anything. This is more of, the fact that she's been a victim of parasocialism, and it really shows you how bad parasocialism can get. I've covered the kind of dangers of it so far with a lot of the kind of stuff with the Shy Lily stuff that I showed you, but now it's getting even worse. And essentially it came from this news article, and there's a lot of other news articles out there. You guys probably seen it. If you don't know, there's this No Kings protest which happened over in America, which essentially was protesting against a lot of Trump stuff. And essentially there was an armed man there which was arrested at Nashville's protest. And it says, yeah, he has a fascination with those people, as you can see on my screen. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube, so I won't say it. But essentially, yeah, I mean, he was there armed with a gun, and apparently he was arrested and is facing a lot of trouble. Now, essentially, what was the craziest part about this is the fact that he's an avid VTuber fan, and more specifically a fan of Pippa and some other VTubers as well. His Twitter page is still actually up. Now, I don't want to scroll across his Twitter page that much because there is some pretty hateful and horrible stuff on his page, including the banner, but somehow it is still up. I don't know how this has been taken down, but obviously you can see they are reposting a lot of stuff from VTubers and other content creators in this kind of space. For example, like Kirsche, you got Sam Hyde down here, so many other people as well, and they just seem like a normal kind of VTuber fan. But obviously, as you scroll through the feed, you can kind of see there's some other stuff scattered around, including some photos of a certain kind of, things that can cause a lot of destruction. Obviously, as I said, it was an armed man at a protest, and obviously, yeah, he got arrested there. That's his mugshot, and yeah, at the time he was described as autistic but high functioning. He said, yeah, he was there in the No Kings protest, carrying what police described as a semi-automatic pew-pew. Let's just say that. Let's say pew-pew. Obviously, yeah, there's a lot of kind of posts of him posting kind of far-right stuff, which isn't great at all. He also, expresses a lot of things over on his page, and this is one of the main things that people have been going crazy over, and it's one of the main tweets that I've seen, is on the news, they've been showing a lot of the images that he's been posting to do with this, and he posts a lot of his, collectibles, let's just say that, on his Twitter, and a lot of it has pictures of Pippa in the background, which is crazy. Obviously, and this person says, Cinder drama, Kirsche sponsors attacked, Twisty convo leak, Tucker vague post, Guru graduation, now this, 2025, barely halfway done. Holy crap. And obviously, yeah, that's definitely true. Obviously, this is one of the images that was shown on the news, which obviously, as you can see, is a pew-pew there, and also we got a democracy book. I don't know what that is. It's I think it might be some kind of German book from the looks of the author there. So again, yeah, you can probably guess what that is. And also a picture of Pippa in the background, which is crazy, and it's crazy that the link has been made, but obviously it's also not the craziest thing out there because some people just have their own hobbies, and it's crazy to see that someone like this is, being arrested and, put under trial. Also, whenever I looked at this page that was on there, there's actually a tweet from him saying that, hey, this was me, help me fund like law fees or whatever. So I think he's still got access to his phone or Twitter or something. I don't really know. I don't know if he got released or whatever, but essentially, yeah, there was tweets there saying, help me pay for the bills. Obviously, I don't think very many people are going to be helping him, especially carrying some pretty harsh weapons to an event like that. But obviously, yeah, there's even more posts, obviously, on the News Channel 5 thing about 10 hours ago. This was one of the first posts I actually saw on this, which kind of alerted me to this, saying, this is not real, oh my god, what the hell. They said, dude is Jinx RO, he's schizo scribbled on his gun. And obviously, as you can see there, it even says, like, Pipkin Pippa on his gun. He literally wrote it on there. Which again, obviously he said, obviously this isn't her fault. Once someone gets famous enough, this stuff just starts happening to them in a sea of a million people. There are people who are going to do stuff like this. I just think Pippa on the news is funny. So again, obviously people are saying, that's my mutual. which again is pretty scary thing to find out that you're mutuals with someone like that. Obviously, I hope that they unfollowed them after posting that, thing. Obviously, also you can see there, they've actually got a location thing which says, I love Kirsche, sorry, as that. Obviously, this has nothing to do with Kirsche, and a lot of people are going to try spin this into something like saying that she supports the kind of stuff that they support just because, she has a follower or someone that really likes her, that likes that stuff. Obviously, that's not the case, and it's been tried to be used against her in previous kind of things that have happened, and obviously they're probably going to try to use it again, seeing as how many people hate Kirsche for no reason at all. Obviously, yeah, there's so many people there, like pulling up old tweets and things and just finding it, so weird. They said, dude, why is this blowing up so much? I just thought it was so absurd. It was kind of funny. Do I have to delete this, or is this going to cause some problems? I don't want to make things harder for Pippa. I don't know. And yeah, obviously, I don't know what's going to happen with Pippa. Like, are they going to investigate, behind this, or do you think they're just going to leave her be? I don't really know how this kind of stuff works whenever it comes to this investigation, because obviously, yeah, they're going to be looking through a lot of things, including these posts, and obviously, Pippa has nothing to do with this at all, but obviously the obsession with her, maybe they might contact her in regards to just keeping her safe. But obviously, it says here that they've arrested him, so it seems like maybe, a lot of people are safe, I'm not sure, but obviously, as I said, they did tweet the fact that, that was them, so I don't really know, maybe that was before they arrested him or something. Again, we're not sure, but this has been a thread that's been blowing up quite a bit, and yeah, it's been like blowing up all over the news channels as well. So on News Channel 5, the Nashville News here, saying Miller's posts are concerning, and yeah, I don't know how this guy wasn't already like watch listed or something by the FBI or some kind of organization out there, because if you go through the posts, it's very bad. It is very, very bad. There's a lot of horrible kind of post being there, but also it's mixed in with a lot of normal posts. It just seems like your average VTuber fan until you get to some of the other posts there, which is interesting. Obviously, on X, an anonymous account responded to those images saying, "Drop your Twitch," meaning a live stream video we will be watching. Miller answered, "Need to get a helmet and a GoPro first." So obviously, yeah, it seems like they were definitely planning on doing something. We don't know exactly what. But, a lot of those posts are very concerning, as the police say. Obviously, he even posted a picture of the police checking out his room, I'm guessing. Obviously, yeah. According to the Murfreesboro police spokesperson, Larry Flowers, officers had 2 interactions with the young man this past April. The first on April 2nd, when Miller reported 2 firearms had been stolen. His mother had it turns out, hidden them. And the next day, officers were back after getting a report from FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force about his online activities. Okay, so they were actually watching him. They were actually watching him this entire time. I mean, it's kind of a really bad on the FBI's part there. I'm going to be honest. This is someone you need to check out like immediately. And obviously, this dude was then allowed to go ahead and walk around this protest with stuff like that. And, that could have been very bad. Obviously, nothing did happen, thankfully. I don't think that anything happened. But obviously, that shouldn't have even happened in the first place. They should have got him way before any of this stuff happened, and they should have flagged him way before, this was allowed to happen, because it could have turned into something extremely bad. But obviously, thankfully, it did not. They said the next day, it said during the CID investigation on April 3rd, the mother voluntarily released to MPD a Smith & Wesson and a Mossberg. So again, yeah, just kind of gave them some stuff on that. They say both firearms, along with a lot of ammo and gun accessories, are currently being held with safekeeping. So yeah, apparently the police do have their hands on it, which again is good to hear. But obviously, yeah, it's pretty crazy that this has all come out, and it's pretty terrible for someone like Pippa and for all of these VTubers that have been involved and that have been kind of posted about him, because they've just been brought into this unnecessarily, and it sucks that she doesn't have anything to do with this guy, but these people obviously have a fascination with them, and yeah, as I said, it just shows you how parasocial some people can get, to the point where they're planning on committing stuff like this with the names of popular figures in the community, plastered on whatever, which again is very, very scary, and obviously it can cause someone to go down a very, very terrible path. But it's good to see that the police have kind of gotten their hands on him now. I hope that nothing else does come from this, and that they do just kind of handle it how anyone else they would handle with, and that they actually get him either locked up or at least secured where he can't actually harm anybody, because again, there was a serious risk there with that whole protest that the FBI took there. Because, yeah, if they didn't get him and, you know, he did end up doing something, that would be absolutely terrible if that was to come out. And obviously, yeah, it seems like this is just a pretty crazy situation. Obviously, as these people say, you know, it's kind of crazy. They say the rabbit is innocent and said, I agree. I think it's just funny. That's funny, but I do feel bad for Pippa if this comes from this. And obviously they said, everyone said I was crazy when I said we need to expel the femboy scourge from VTubing, but no, that I don't want Pippa to leave, bro. She said she's not going anywhere, which again, I think a lot of people were overly worried about Pippa. I feel like, you know, she's not going anywhere. It doesn't really affect her personally, I wouldn't say, because again, as far as I know, she hasn't had any communication with this dude. It's just a crazy fan, the same like any other crazy fan doing something in the name of, like, you know, a really popular celebrity out there. They're not going to get instantly tied to it or face backlash just because that person was a fan of that celebrity. It just doesn't make sense. The same goes for these VTubers as well. You know, it just doesn't make sense at all. You know, we were saying image from a year ago, libertarian author did nothing but wave a flag. Don't try to make the sign just clearly evident, and said, don't overanalyze this, you party pooper. Which again, yeah, it's a little bit weird. I said, I want to get off VTuber themed dramas wild ride. It said, no one gets off this ride once the ride starts. I said, Pippa doesn't deserve this. I hope it doesn't turn too bad. Pippa's love, you know, not a surprise. I always knew Pippa was a middle-aged man. I don't know what they meant there. I mean, I think they totally misread that situation there. They said, yeah, that was going to happen sooner or later. Some retard was going to associate with the Yabbit. It said, no one who loves Pipkin Pippa and actually watches them is all of that. Which again, yeah, people are going pretty crazy over this, and yeah, I just hope that Pippa doesn't get any kind of backlash. The same with Kirsche, the same with a lot of the people that have been posted on the page and that have been, you know, posted on the news as well. Because this isn't just a case of, you know, people look into the profile or whatever and they go, oh, you know, they mentioned Pippa, they mentioned Kirsche, they mentioned this person, they mentioned that person. No, this has been like blasted on news. You can literally see here, you know, Pippa's face on the news, which is pretty mental. And obviously a lot of people are going to see this now and maybe associate it with Pippa, which I think is actually terrible on the news's part there, because there's a lot of people that aren't involved in this community. I think a lot of people who are involved in the VTuber community will obviously know, you know, they've got nothing to do with it. But people, you know, for example, like think about your, like, you know, old dad who doesn't know anything about all of this VTuber stuff or whatever. You know, they're not going to know the difference and they're going to associate it with this kind of stuff and be on the lookout for it, which again is going to be terrible for Pippa's image. So again, pretty bad on the news's part there, but again, that's just what happens, and I hope that she doesn't get any backlash from this because she doesn't deserve it at all. The same goes for Kirsche, the same goes for all of these people involved. It's obviously just a crazy fan, and it's a pretty, yeah, parasocial situation going on here. And yeah, it just sucks. But yeah, I just wanted to cover that because I thought it was some pretty crazy news and some pretty interesting stuff going on with this. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, there's a lot to really unpack in this. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Also go to GamesUp, use my code Kazakh, get 10% off. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.